everybody, it's Dan Martin. Today I'm going to share with you one of my favorite exercises of all time. Really simple exercise, but before I get into it, please hit that subscribe button. All right, this is what I call the cone toss. What you'll need is a cone. This is an 18-inch cone here, and it's got a kind of a heavy base. These things you can find these online. You just Google search cones, but make sure you get one that has a heavier base. And here's how it works. You're basically just going to get the cone into a swinging motion right here. The key to this exercise here is we don't want to lift the cone like a golf swing though. We want to make sure we keep it pulling on us. And so you'll notice my arms stay pretty extended and I'm letting the weight of the cone kind of dictate my movement, and it's getting me into a nice little body pivot. And then I simply go ahead and I toss it like so. So one more time, get the momentum of the cone going, kind of feel it pulling on me, and then I just toss it. And if you guys are watching that, you can see that looks a lot like a golf swing. Well, there's some really cool things that are going on there in the cone toss. First and foremost, I'll show you kind of the error. What I've noticed in players that I give this to is they struggle with their sequence of motion, which means usually their upper body muscles are firing out of sequence with the lower body muscles. And to swing something is a very specific sequence of motion to get the most out of it. So they'll tend to do this. They'll tend to try to lift the cone, or they'll try to help the cone. So a really typical backswing would be I'd lift the cone, or if I'm somebody that's out of sequence, I'll try to use my shoulders to kind of throw the cone more upward. So I'm using muscles that are not like pulling all the energy that naturally comes from our lower body and kind of force through the ground. So when I do my cone toss, or in a really good golf swing, after I kind of get this momentum going, is that I start to understand the state of being stretched. Because nothing swings in physics without having a feeling of being stretched. And that's a sensation you have to get through your body to understand how to develop a really good sequence of motion. So that very moment before I go for my final cone toss, what I notice is the cone is pulling and my lower body kind of tries to sit away from it. And I get this really good stretching sensation through my body and out my arms, and then I'm able to accelerate that. So as soon as you have a stretch, a swing can accelerate naturally. If you miss your stretch, so if my shoulders kind of come early, then all of a sudden I don't have anything, and that's why a cone toss would look early. So again, I'm going to give you a good one and then a bad one. So here's a good one. There's the stretch, and then I'm able just to toss that cone and put a lot of energy into it. Then here's a bad one. Lost the stretch, and then I'm trying to throw the cone upward. So all my muscles kind of go crazy. Now, how does that relate to a golf swing? Well, your golf swing, your big muscles have to change direction in a very similar fashion. So after you've done about a rep of about five or so cone tosses, what I love players to do is just copy that. Kind of leave your arms a little straighter and kind of get the feeling of the motion, and then just kind of cruise on through. So you start to really understand that as the club is kind of building energy backwards, you start to feel that same kind of pressure into the ground to really get your swing sequence started in the right way. So one more time, get yourself some of those 18-inch cones, nice little heavy base, toss about 5 of them, and then work on practicing some shots. And then if you're at a driving range where you can hit golf balls, you can even go ahead and hit some golf balls after doing the cone toss like so, and really see if you can try to feel that sequence of motion and feel what it's like to kind of take that transition in the right way. Work on that cone toss and apply that to your golf swing, and you're going to start noticing an improvement in your sequence of motion.